And we are here with a new series in FHM 10. And as you can see by the team we are using, we are going to be using the Arizona Coyotes. I figured I would send them off, hopefully on a good note, at least until what could be their probable return within the next 5 years. And so this is a little bit different than our typical franchise mode, as we are starting in the year 2029. So we are already 6 years into this simulation. Obviously the first year, year number one was the 2023-24 season, and then I added the Utah Yetis into the league as an expansion team, and then transferred all of Arizona's assets to them. So they got Clayton Keller, they got Logan Cooley, they got Dylan Gunther. Ended up signing Sam Reinhart in free agency. They got Macklin Celebrini as well, who oddly enough has not turned out very well so far. It looks like only a career high of 26 points so far, but nonetheless, the Utah Yetis have already been through 5 years of the simulation, and that means it is time for the Arizona Coyotes to return. And as we take a look at the history of our Arizona Coyotes, you'll see that these are indeed the original Arizona Coyotes. They have all the original team history and everything. Shane Doan's up there with the most points. They've got all the GM history still intact. So they left the league in 2024 and are now rejoining the league in 2029 as a rebooted franchise. Now, obviously, we don't have any players on our team, so we're going to need to do an expansion draft for this. However, the Arizona Coyotes are not the only quote-unquote new team in the league here. As to even out the conferences, I have also added the Atlanta Thrashers back into the league. That is right, they make their return as well. So we are at a 34 team NHL. I was considering 36 to balance out the divisions as well, but I figured 4 new teams in 1 year isn't exactly ideal, especially from an expansion draft standpoint, right? I think that the talent in the expansion draft would be extremely diluted. Anyway, before we get started, let's take a look at the staff. So funny thing about this is that Andre Tourigny, the coach of the Arizona Coyotes when they left the league, of course, made his way to Utah, but then Utah actually fired him mid last season. So I figured, you know what, why not? Let's get him back on the Arizona Coyotes. Then we have all of our assistant coaches set up. We have our trainers set. Scouts are good. I think we are good to go for the expansion draft here. Anyway, before we get into the expansion draft, I figured I would show some of the league history, everything that's gone on in the league since the simulation started. So year number one, which was the 2023-24 season, the Vegas Golden Knights went back-to-back as the Stanley Cup champions. And then in year number 2, which was the first season without Arizona, the Ottawa Senators won. And then in years 3 and 4, you had Buffalo going back-to-back. And then year number 5, you had Winnipeg winning their first Stanley Cup. And then the Washington Capitals in year number 6. But you know what? They managed to get Leon Draisaitl, so I mean, that's certainly understandable. Let's see, actually, how did they acquire him? Where am I looking here? Transactions. Looks like he was signed in free agency in the 2025 season for 6 years for $12 million. We may as well take a look at the rest of the league while we're at it, see if there's any big names that have moved. So you got Oettinger as Anaheim's new goaltender. He was previously with Dallas. You got Zegras, Carlson, Terry, Lundestrom, McTavish. All looks pretty familiar for the most part, besides Oettinger. Obviously, Atlanta doesn't have any players. Boston still got Pasternak. Jake Neighbors is there, and he was actually with St. Louis to start the GM mode. Then you got Atu Ratti, who was with Vancouver. McAvoy's still there. Matthew Poitras looks like he was a draft pick of theirs who just started playing in year number 1. Then you have Buffalo, Dahlin, Cousins, Tage Thompson, Jordan Gavin looks like he was a draft pick of theirs. He's only 22. And then in Calgary, you have Jack Quinn. He was on Buffalo, I believe, to start the GM mode. Carolina, you have Aho, Svechnikov, Natchez, Jarvis, Shea Theodore is there now, and he was with Vegas to start. You have Dakota Joshua now there as well. And on Chicago, obviously, you have Bedard. You have Artem Levshunov, who it looks like they drafted. Now, Colorado, you have Rantanen, Makar, Gabe Perreault. Then on Columbus, you have Kent Johnson, Patrick Laine, Adam Fantilli, Adam Bachfist, looks pretty familiar there. Dallas, you have Robertson, Stankoven, Johnston, Heiskanen, Christian Kyrou. Then on Detroit, you have Raymond, Sandin Palika. Was he there at the start of the GM mode? If he was, then he was a drafted prospect of theirs. And you have Larkin, Rasmussen, Veleno. So it doesn't look like too many changes so far. Obviously, we know Draisaitl went to Washington. So the Draisaitl-less Oilers, they still have McDavid. They still have Bouchard. James Scantlebury looks like a draft pick of theirs. Cole Perfetti there now as well. For Florida, you have Matthew Tkachuk, Carter Verhaeghe, Spencer Knight, Aaron Ekblad. Barkov looks pretty familiar there. Then in LA, you have Byfield, DeBrincat, Fiala, Dubois, Mod Sogard, Brant Clark. So obviously DeBrincat, the notable new acquisition here. He started with Detroit. And then in Minnesota, you have Matt Boldy, Adam Beckman, Kirill Kaprizov, Marco Rossi. And was Beckman here at the start? Yeah, he was. So it looks like their roster is pretty similar to how they started, or at least the core of it anyway. Montreal, you have Caulfield, Slavkovsky, Perrick. I believe he was there to start, was he not? It looks like he might have been a draft pick of theirs. Lagare, Suzuki, Perot. Yep, looks pretty familiar there. Then in Nashville, you have Afanasev, Forsberg, Askarov, Kosick. Looks like Kosick was a draft pick. He's only 20. Dylan Strome, who of course started with Washington. So a couple new faces there. And in New Jersey, you have Hughes, Meyer, Bratt, Heischer, Hughes, Mercer, Nemetz, Hamilton. Yep, that's very familiar to me. On the Islanders, you have, oh man, they're looking a bit rough as far as overall talent goes. Rupe Hintz is their best player at 3.5-star ability. So he's a new acquisition there. But then you have Barzell, Dobson, Saleh, Sorokin. So they got Hintz as a new acquisition there, but looking pretty rough there over on Long Island. Then you have the Rangers with Fox, Eichel, Jack Eichel, now on the New York Rangers. Shesterkin, of course. Nicholas Christensen, who is 23. Looks like he might have been a draft pick. Gavin McKenna, looks like he was also a draft pick. Then you got Callum Ritchie. He was in juniors to start the GM mode. So quite a few new faces here, actually, on the Rangers. Then on Ottawa, you have Stutzla, Shabbat, Kachuk, Norris, Greig. Yep, looks pretty familiar here. Verhoff looks like a draft pick. Then on Philadelphia, you have Konechny, Brink, Berkeley Catton, Matvey Michkov, Adam Benak. Looks like he was also a draft pick there. Travis Sanheim, Tippett. So for the most part, looking pretty familiar in Philadelphia. On Pittsburgh, you have Rosane, James Hagens, definitely a draft pick. Samuel Hanzek, Shasha Pastuyov, Alexander Campbell is their captain. Looks like he started the GM mode in the AHL with the Cleveland Monsters. So post Crosby and Malkin era, Penguins looking a little different here for sure. The San Jose Sharks, you have Robbins as their best player at a 4-star ability. Michael Misa's there. And then you have Devin Levi as their goaltender. Actually started out in Buffalo. Then in Seattle, you have Shane Wright. Jagger Furcus, looks like a draft pick of theirs. Alexi Lafreniere, apparently, who is only a 3-star ability at the moment. Looks like New York moved on from him. And Kirill Marchenko, Riker Evans, Vince Dunn as their captain. Then in St. Louis Blues, you have Matty Beniers. It looks like he signed in St. Louis through free agency. So Seattle, unfortunately, did not get anything back for him. Jordan Kyrou is still there. Robert Thomas is still there. Toropchenko is there as well. Then Tampa, this should be pretty interesting. You have Kucherov still, Vasilevsky, Point, Sergachev, Hagel. Anton Lundell is there now after spending some time with Florida. Then in Toronto, you have Austin Matthews. Jeremy Swayman now is in Toronto after spending some time with Boston. William Nylander's still there. Marner's still there. Riley, Nick Robertson. So obviously you have some guys who left, guys who might have retired, but the Matthews era very much still in effect in Toronto. And then Utah, you have Keller, Geeky, Cooley, Igor Chernyshov. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but it looks like he was a draft pick of Utah in their first year. And then obviously they got Celebrini, we saw before. Nick Schmaltz is still there. Gunther is still there. And Vancouver, you have Pedersen, Hughes, Demko, Besser. Yeah, it looks mostly the same as when the GM mode started. Liam Greentree looks like he might be a new guy there, as he was 18 in year number 2, and he had played 8 games with Vancouver, so he might have been a draft pick of theirs in real life. I'm not exactly sure. No, actually, it looks like he was a draft pick in year number 1 in 2024. And then on Vegas, you have Nikolai Voinov, who's only 20 years of age, so he's definitely a draft pick of theirs. Brendan Brisson, Jamie Drysdale, so he's a new face there, I believe, as well. Previously on Philly. Dalibor Dvorsky. They have Carl Lindbaum as their goaltender. And then Washington, obviously we saw before Draisaitl. Carlson's still there. Ivan Demidov got drafted. They acquired Matt Coronado, so some new faces here in Washington for sure. Luca Testa, Pavel Divis, 21 years of age. Looking like they got a pretty good future here in Washington. Middle stats there as well. Yeah, definitely a brand new core here in Washington. And then Winnipeg, you have Chaz Lucius, Mark Scheifele still there, Morrissey still there, Hellebuck is still there, Colby Barlow at 24 years of age, looks like his first year was year number 2, and even then that was only 3 games. Ehlers is still there, so there you go. There's a general overlook of how the landscape of the NHL has changed over the past 6 years. And let's get into the expansion draft. Now remember, we're not guaranteed any player because we do have to split the picks with Atlanta, so this should be interesting. There's not really too much of a sample size on Wallstat, but he looks like he's done pretty well in the simulation so far. Looks like he's only been a backup in the NHL for the past 2 years, with a 907 2 years ago and a 917 last year. And that was, again, that was in minimal games played, 23 and 19 respectively. He's on a good contract. He's 3.5 star ability according to team scouting. There's also, wait a minute. There's also William Lassell, who is currently in the AHL with Syracuse. 2.5 star ability, 5 star potential at 21 years of age. Let's see. What's his personality looking like? Can tend to get a little overconfident. I don't like that so much, but I mean, he's very young, so maybe we take a chance. Oh, by the way, since this is a 2-team expansion draft, each team can lose up to 2 players. So that's a little bit different, obviously, than past expansion drafts that we've seen in real life. Just thought I'd clarify that for the inevitable comment that points it out. I'm really leaning towards Lassell here. I mean, the prospect of getting a 21-year-old goaltender with that kind of potential is just kind of, it's very tempting. Very tempting. I mean, Wallstat is definitely the better goaltender right now, but he's already 26. Yeah, I think I gotta go Lassell. So welcome to the Arizona Coyotes, William Lassell. And let's see who Atlanta picks. They will take Jesper Wallstat, as expected, and they have 2 picks in a row as Gabriel Dyke goes to the Atlanta Thrashers as well. Let's get a nice veteran here. I think it's going to be either Aiden Hill or Gustafsson or Saros. One of those 3. Saros looks like, oh, wait a minute. The 922 I was looking at just now, that's actually in the AHL with Milwaukee. Let's see his recent NHL numbers, 914, 907, 916. He looks like he's been pretty good throughout the simulation so far. What about Aiden Hill? He's 33, 6'6". He had a 918 in 28 games played last year, and that was in the NHL. A 902 the year before. Yeah, he's been solid in the simulation as well. And then Philip Gustafsson, not feeling it. He had some 800s in there that I didn't like. I'm thinking Aiden Hill because I just saw his personality seems to perform better under pressure. I really like that. He's 6'6". He had some good stats. Yeah, I'm going with Aiden Hill as our veteran goaltender here. Welcome to the Arizona Coyotes, Aiden Hill. And actually, didn't he? Yeah, he played for the Arizona Coyotes a while back during the 2020-21 season was his last time here. So I suppose I should say welcome back to the Arizona Coyotes, Aiden Hill. And we have another pick here, another goalie draft. The possibility that Aiden Hill doesn't work out as your veteran goaltender, you can just switch to Saros. Maybe Lassell needs some more time in the AHL. So yeah, I think Saros would be a good pick here, just as insurance. There you go. Yusuf Saros, welcome to the Arizona Coyotes. And we are getting into the defensemen now. You have Carlson, Morrissey, Bachvist, Dursey, Ekblad, Hamilton, Cedar, Lambos, Carson Lambos, who was a beast for us in the Washington Capitals GM mode, but it doesn't look like he's going to get there in this one. He's only a 3-star ability at 26. Owen Power, who is also a 3-star ability. Sanheim, Dunn. So quite a bit of depth on D for sure. I wouldn't say Carlson just because, he's already 39. I want to get at least a few years out of someone who we get in the expansion draft, right? So how about Adam Bachvist? What is he looking like? Good personality. 43 points last year, 65 grade. And it looks like he's pretty consistent overall as well. Capable of getting around 60 on a good year. Checking's at 11, don't like that. But then again, he is an offensive defenseman, right? Yeah, he's offensive. Yeah, I think I'll take him. I mean, I don't see anyone who would be better for a player who's still in their prime, right? Because Morrissey, he'd be good, but he's already 34. He can be on the decline soon enough if he's not already. And besides that, he doesn't perform well in big games, apparently. So, yeah, I think we'll go with Bachvist here. Welcome to the Arizona Coyotes out of Bachvist. I think I might go with Moritz Cedar here. Personality is okay. Salary, he's making a lot of money, but he doesn't have a no trade clause at least, so that's good. So if we need to trade him, we can, or at least it'll be easier. Point-wise, it looks like he had a bit of an off year last year. Actually, very much an off year. Compared to what he did the year prior with 54. So maybe, you never know. Maybe he picks it up again and he gets 50 points with us. He's only 28, he's 6'4", got some good attributes in there overall. Yeah, I'm liking Moritz Cedar. Let's get him on our team. Welcome to the Arizona Coyotes. I think I might actually go for Lambos anyway, regardless of the fact that he's not going to be as good as he was when he was with when we were with Washington. I think he'll still be a pretty good pickup. He's pretty much guaranteed the 35 point getter at least, if not 45, right? Grade constantly in the mid 60s, it looks like. Nothing problematic about his personality. And he's only making 3.6 for 1 year, so A pretty safe contract. Yeah, I like Carson Lambos here. Let me just check power because I'm also interested in him. He gets some pretty good grades in there. In fact, it looks like his average is actually a bit higher than Lambos's. Good physical ratings, team player 18. He does have a no trade clause, but it's only a 2-year contract. Not the worst thing in the world. I can't imagine he'd be a player I'd be moving on from too soon anyway. Yeah, actually, I think I'll go with Owen Power. I was about to take Lambos, but I'll go with Owen Power here. He looks like it fits the mold of what I'm looking for. So there you go. Owen Power, welcome to the Arizona Coyotes. Oh, hold on. We got Xavier Veilleux here, 23 years of age on the St. Louis Blues, scored 54 points last season, and he's unprotected? Really? He's very good offense. Ooh, I think he might be, yeah. I mean, defensively is not so great. He's like passable at best, but that is a pretty good offensive category. Got a good contract too. Great contract, in fact. Yeah, I'm going to take Xavier Veilleux. Welcome to the Arizona Coyotes, Xavier Veilleux. I'm liking the look of Etienne Morin. His personality is okay. And he had a 62 grade. He had 41 points, 38 the year before. So again, another solid 40-point guy, it looks like, if he gets the ice time. Now, that being said, he would probably end up being in our bottom 6, but I'll give him a chance anyway. So welcome to the Arizona Coyotes, Etienne Morin. You know what? Let's get a nice veteran now. Let's get Philip Hronek, currently on the Vancouver Canucks. He is making 6.3, but it's only for 1 year, so it's not that big of a deal. And actually, it looks like his average grade has been pretty solid over the course of the simulation. Nothing but low to mid and even high 60s in there. So yeah, let's get the veteran presence Hronek on our back end. Welcome to the Arizona Coyotes. Let's see, who do we currently have? Lascelles, Hill, and Saros in goal. Defensive core, you got Bachvis, Cedar, Veilleux, Power, Moran, and Hronek. I mean, Carlson's still there. Let's see, who else is available for Washington? Rhett Sather, Jackson Smith. Rhett Sather doesn't look too bad. 20 at a 2-star ability and 3.5-star potential. Got some good ratings in there, especially offensively. Physical ratings aren't bad. Team player is 16. Hasn't played any NHL games yet, but you know what? That's fine. Still young. Still got some time to grow. Yeah, I think actually I'll take him instead of Carlson because obviously he's got some room to grow. Carlson looks like he's on the edge of retirement there. So Rhett Sather, welcome to the Arizona Coyotes. At this point, I may as well take Lambos because he's still there and no other player is really speaking to me here. So I almost selected Hamilton. So Carson Lambos, welcome to the Arizona Coyotes. How about Henry Muse? He looks okay. Got some good ratings in there overall. Not the best simulator when it comes to grade, but he did have 37 points last season, so may as well. Henry Muse, welcome to the Arizona Coyotes. And now we're on to forwards finally. So, Clayton Keller. I mean, we have the opportunity to get him back here. We can get him back on Arizona. I mean, I think you got to do it, right? I think you got to do it. I mean, he's making a lot of money, but I'm pretty sure we can afford it. So sure, why not? Clayton Keller, welcome back to the Arizona Coyotes. There is Pavel Zacha at center, but he's got a indefinite injury. Injured since May 20th. 212 days on the injury. So yeah, I think I'm going to pass on him. Cohen Zimmer. He's one of those, the bigger the game, the better he performs kind of players. Regular 50-point guy. Grades in the high 50s, low 60s. Good contract as well. Yeah, I like him. I like him a lot. Yeah, I'll take him. Cohen Zimmer, welcome to the Arizona Coyotes. We do need a center though, so maybe Jaeger or Beck. I've already ruled out Zacha for right now just because of his injury. Brayden Jaeger, 57 points last season with Nashville. He had 50 the year before, so pretty consistent looks like so far. What about Owen Beck? Decent personality. 50 points last year, 58 grade, 38 the year before, 13 the year before that. 18 team player. Physical ratings are good. Not as much of a checker, it doesn't look like. So between these two, I think I'd go Jaeger. Yeah, I'll take Jaeger. Welcome to the Arizona Coyotes, Brayden Jaeger. I mean, as far as centers go, there's not many left, at least not many good ones, other than Zacha, who again is going to be out for the majority of next season with that 212-day injury. So maybe I do take Beck with this pick. Get a nice 1-2 punch at center, at least to start out, you know? Yeah, I think it's got to be Beck here. Welcome to the Arizona Coyotes, Owen Beck. Casper Nassane. I kind of like him. He's got that 128 hits this past season, a 62 grade, 49 points in 69 games played on Boston, 6'4", got a good personality, good offensively. I mean, that being said, there's nothing spectacular about him, but he could be some good depth, I think. Got a good contract too. And it's not like there's anyone else who's really jumping out at me right now. I mean, maybe Michkov. He had 58 points 2 years ago, but he followed it up with 33 points this past season. 65 grade though. I might consider Michkov. Good physically, good offensively. Hold on a minute. Kieran Walton, 6'7". He is a monster. 59 grade last year, 35 points, 39 points the year before, 64 grade. What about his physicality? Yeah, 90 hits each of the past 2 seasons. Looks like he can take faceoffs when necessary. He had a 52.7 faceoff percentage 2 seasons ago, 49 last year. Yeah, he could be some really good size for the middle 6 maybe. I'm debating between Walton, Michkov, and who was that other guy? Kaspar Nassane, right? It's one of those 3. I mean, there's always the possibility we could get all 3. So I think it's just a matter of which of the 3 do I want the most. I honestly am really liking Kieran Walton. I think he's the pick. Welcome to the Arizona Coyotes, Kieran Walton. Looks like Atlanta took Morozov and Dykert. So now that frees up Michkov and Nassane. Now between Nassane and Michkov, well, actually, no, we get 2 picks in a row here, right? So yeah, we could just take Michkov and Nassane. So welcome to the Arizona Coyotes, Matvey Michkov and Kaspar Nassane. All right, where are we at right now? So it looks like what may very well be our top 6 is rounded out at this point. So it's probably gonna be Keller, Jaeger, Zimmer on the first line, and then Beck, and then 2 of the 3 of Walton, Michkov, and Nassane on the second line. I might go with Lafreniere here. He's got a history of 100+ hit seasons, 138 2 seasons ago. Only 19 points last season, but he was on roughly a 40-point pace, which is equal to the 2 seasons prior. The only problem with Lafreniere is he's making 5.9. We're currently at essentially 74 million in salary. Ceiling's at 83.5. Because this right here is the offseason buffer, 91 mil. Yeah, we still have a lot of forwards to fill out. I don't think Lafreniere is the move here. We got to go cheaper. I mean, obviously there's going to be some trades, right? But still, I would rather not get a contract like that. Might just see what young guys are out here, because obviously they're more likely to have the cheaper contracts. There's Victor Fedorov on the Henderson Silver Knights. He's a 2.5-star ability, 3-star potential. Good offensively, it looks like. Physical ratings are good. Mental ratings are passable, I would say. Defense is passable. I like his personality. He's only 21, so I guess, yeah, I could give him a chance. I mean, he's got some pretty good grades in there in the AHL for the past 2 seasons, 73 and 71. He had a 60 grade in 5 games this past season for the Vegas Golden Knights. Yeah, I think I'll give him a chance. Welcome to the team, Victor Fedorov. There's Tanner Lamb, good passer, good acceleration, good team player, a good personality. I like his personality for sure. Only a 53 grade though last year in 39 games played. I'm thinking Carter Kostuk, actually. He's a 2-way forward, according to his role ratings. Solid offensive ratings, 16 hitting, 14 checking, so just some really good all-around ratings. Personality is not bad, also not great. Obviously no NHL experience, but yeah, I think I might take a chance on him. So welcome to the Arizona Coyotes, Carter Kostuk. And next I think I'll take Nathan Bastian. Pretty good contract, 2.45 for the next 2 years. He is very physical, a lot of hits, over 200 per season most of the time. So I think he'd be a good fit on our 4th line. Welcome to the Arizona Coyotes, Nathan Bastian. I think Oscar Malgard's going to be next. Good face-off guy. Looks like he'll get around 60 to 70 hits per season based off the very little data that we have on him currently. Very cheap contract, $955,000 for 2 years. 24 years of age, so I can't imagine him sticking around long term, but you never know. So Malgard, welcome to the Arizona Coyotes. All right, we're starting to get to the point now where the players are becoming less and less impressive. So I think I'm going to go back to, I was looking at this guy before, Tanner Lamb. He's got some decent ratings all around. Nothing too impressive as far as his stats go, but I think we give him the chance. He's only 21. So Tanner Lamb, welcome to the Arizona Coyotes. I think I'll take John Mustard now, 2.5-star center at 22 years of age. And then Carlos Flugans, he has not played an NHL game. He is 21 years of age. Once again, just someone who we're given the chance to. And at this point, we're at the skater draft now, so we could take a forward or defenseman. Ivor Stenberg is pretty intriguing. He's very good offensively. Good team player, temperament. Physical ratings are good besides strength, which that was a bit higher. Not very good defensively, but maybe he'll be a good replacement offensive player. So Ivor Stenberg, welcome to Arizona. I think I'll take William Dufour here. Very physical. He had 254 hits last season, 141 the year before, and seems he's capable of getting grades in the mid-60s. He had 35 points last season. Ratings aren't anything too special, but then again, we are very late in the expansion draft, so it makes sense. William Dufour, welcome to Arizona. Next, I think I'll take Jaden Grube of the Bakersfield Condors. He's 26, so won't be growing too much more. 6'3" though. Some decent ratings in there, so I would imagine he could be a good replacement player when need be. So group, welcome to the Arizona Coyotes. I think next will be Alexander Nikishin. Ratings look solid overall. Nothing really much to complain about. Got a good contract. I think we'll take him. Welcome to the Arizona Coyotes, Alexander Nikishin. And I believe we have 2 more picks left. We're on round 31 right now. I think Alexander Doucette from the Maple Leafs will be next. Nothing spectacular about him. He's pretty strong, 18 strength. Defense is not great, so I can't imagine he'll be sticking around for too long, especially at 27 years of age. But we'll be taking him nonetheless, as there's not really many players left who are serviceable and still have a decent salary. Because I'm looking for basically 2 mil or under here. There's Maxim Barbashev, Sam Sedley, and as far as NHL serviceable players go, that is about it. So it's between Barbashev and Sedley. Yeah, I mean, we got a lot of depth really everywhere. So I guess it doesn't really matter who we take here. Yeah, I'll just go with Barbashev. And there we go. There's the expansion draft over and done with. And this is, at least for now, our roster. Obviously, there will be some cuts made. There's currently 32 players on the roster. Definitely cannot have that. But we'll make all those trades and roster moves and whatnot in the next one, because I'm pretty sure this is going to be a pretty long video based on the length of this recording. So with that, I'll end things off here. And the next one, we will make any moves that we need to make and hopefully get started with the year 1 simulation with your returning Arizona Coyotes.